Alright, well, I need a little bit of confirmation about the audio. So, if anyone can hear me, and preferably the music, then let me know. But I'll just check the chat in the meantime. Cat think is damaging their brain with Houdini stuffs. Yeah, well. Oh, you can hear. Nice. Oh, Zed's in the chat as well. Enjoying your Sunday before work. Lovely. Alright, well, welcome to the chill stream, everyone. We got a few things on the agenda. I think today's going to be nice and slow. Music and voice is good. That's nice. I did a little bit of a test recording beforehand, just on video, and it sounded alright, so... Oh, but you never know, streams go weird. What's up, Andre? Nice. Okay, cool. So on the agenda today, just a few things that I think I might want to chat about. We've got some Blender news, just a few things I thought were interesting. I can show you a bit of a sneak peek for the studio project, which I might do a couple of videos for in the future. That's the long-term one because I'm moving house that I alluded to a few videos ago, I think. I have a chat about humor in videos, the place that they have in videos, and kind of why I've been putting a bit more effort into the comedic editing with videos. Some more recommendations, portfolio review. So one thing I need to say about this is if you want me to review your portfolio, head on over to my Discord server. If you want a link, for some reason YouTube doesn't let even me put links into the stream chat, so if you want your portfolio reviewed, go to curtisholt.online/links. On there you will find a Discord server invite link, and then there's a chat called the live stream chat channel. In there you can put your portfolio, and my moderators will check it over and they'll send it to me so I can have a look at it on the screen. So if you want me to have a look, then yeah, cool, let's do it. And yeah, and then maybe we'll have time for story time with Kurt. Maybe that'll be a bit of a surprise, we'll see. Let me just check some of my messages I've got going on. Okay, nice, thanks Charon, by the way. Yeah, well, I tried putting a link in the chat and it wouldn't let me. It just deleted it automatically, even though I'm the owner. I can probably put it in the description. Yeah, you're right about that. But yeah, let me do that quickly. In the meantime, let me know what you guys have been doing with Blender recently, because I am genuinely interested. One of the reasons I like doing this job is just seeing like the sheer variety of things that people can do. And hello Arturo. Let's see, edit, just come and chill. Discord server. There we go. So if anyone new comes along, or if you refresh the page, hopefully the server link should be in the description. Hi Kurt, I just started on Zach's Cubic Worlds course. Nice. Yeah, that one looked really cool actually. Really pretty. I wanted to jump into that. I haven't had time to do it all myself yet, but very interested. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about CG Boost with the Blender news that we'll start in a sec, because there's some really cool new stuff coming along. Hi Agniv, by the way, Render Rights. In the digital flesh. Tell me a lot about Blender, almost too much. Now the terrible stuff I make is partly your fault. Alright, yeah, thanks Lucas. That's part of my responsibility, I guess. Yeah, very cool. You know, one of the funny things about streaming is I don't do it that often because like the anxiety spike is pretty high, and that's I guess one of the things about just making content online anyway. It's you know, it's always very numbers obsessed. So what I've done this time is I've made sure that I'm covering over the concurrent viewer number, because I don't really want to see that. So let's start, should we? Why is working with text in Blender so ugh? Yeah, it's a bit weird. Oh cool, the description updates without having to refresh. That's nice. Alright, let me bring up my little text notes. I'm very prepared. So I've told you about where you need to put your portfolio in the Discord server, that's fine. So Blender news. I have received news that Martin Kleckner, the person behind the Mastering 3D Environments course for CG Boost, has put some updates onto it. This isn't sponsored, they haven't asked me to talk about this, and I don't have links anywhere here, but I just thought you should know, because I know that a significant number of people that follow the channel are interested in environment art. So if you are interested in that course, they have put some new stuff up, which I think was pretty cool. And as you know, I mean, if you've been following for a while, you know that Martin is just like such a lovely guy. Fantastic content. Also, Daniel Bystedt, I mentioned in a recent video that he had a baking add-on to help with like texture baking in Blender. I believe he's put a new update for that out now. So if you've been using that, or if you're interested in using it, just be aware of that. Make sure you get the latest version. Community really helped me. Alright, nice. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mocknix, by the way. Alright, sick. Another thing I want to recommend in terms of Blender news is CG Matter. I don't know if it was on the CG Matter or the Default Cube channel, but he did a new video about the fields update for geometry nodes. And I think that's one that you should definitely watch, because I was interested in doing a video kind of talking about that and why fields is... Hold on, just getting a... Okay, I've got the first portfolio come through, so I can do that in a bit. Yeah, the fields update for geometry nodes is very significant. It's going to change the way that we use geometry nodes. I wanted to do a video about it, but it's a very weird kind of change to explain because it's quite abstract, and the only realistic way to do it would be by showing like a comparison of the attributes focus system versus the field system. And while I was preparing the video that I originally had planned for it, and I had this whole comedy section for it planned out as well, but I got so bored preparing the video because geometry nodes is not an exciting thing to talk about. I'm sorry, like I tried to find a really interesting way to explain it, but it just wasn't really working out. But yeah, I mean that would have been like the natural follow-on. As you can see here on the screen, we've got like Blender 3.0 release date, CyclesX, Asset Browser, geometry nodes. That would have been the next one, but it just wasn't working. Anyway, I can see some people chatting in the live chat there. I love how the Unicode costume is still on the back. Yeah, I mean, I brought it along here. I mean, it hasn't been here the whole time. Don't think that. It's very hot here. Like, I would not keep this around. But I thought it would be appropriate, right? Like the first stream after 100k. So, oh well. I can't remember why I made that promise, but I remember talking about it on the Blender Nest channel quite a bit. Saying how I was going to use it. I cannot remember how it started. We had like a weird chat. We've got like a private server for like different Blender creators like associated with the Blender Nest channel, which I should probably bring up here while I'm advertising it. And yeah, subscribe if you like conversations. And I can't, like, we were sharing funny outfits and stuff, and then I found this pink unicorn one that I really like the look of because I thought like it kind of fit the color scheme a bit. And I was like, yeah, I'll wear that one for 100k, and there we go, have to do it. It's actually just a normal dressing gown. Oh, my community conversation on Tuesday, yeah, so we, on the Blender Nest server, which is like a lovely community server where we all come together from kind of different creators' discords, we all kind of converge on the Blender Nest one. It's like the main central hub for different creators. You can see CG Matter here, he's had a bit of fun on this. We do community conversations every now and again, where we bring like these, well, just YouTubers, Blender YouTubers. We ask them different questions. Mainly Arturo hosts it, so he'll be the one interviewing, and then some of us can ask questions afterwards. And then those get recorded and then uploaded to the channel. So you can see here we've got Erindale and Joey on here. So they're quite nice, and I should have my one up at some point. Arturo is saying on Tuesday. Andre says, the change from you just being a monotonous voice over to a comedic genius today is amazing. Well, the funny thing is not everyone likes it, but we'll get onto that with the chat about humor. I'll finish off. I'll try and stick to schedule. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, those are the main three things actually, just for the Blender news, because it's been a little bit dry, I guess, even though, you know, 3.0 is coming beginning of December, which I've said in like the last however many videos. But yeah, so the Master 3D Environments course has some cool updates. Daniel Bysted's baking tool has had some updates, and CG Matters geometry nodes fields video I think is pretty good because he actually gives you a proper good like comparison between like the attribute system and the field system. So definitely worth checking that out. So what's next? All right, the studio project sneak peek. So like I kind of mentioned in a previous video, I am kind of moving house. And the thing is, this is going to be very messy because like usually no one gets to see like the raw work in progress stuff. But there's going to be a kind of 6.9 by 7 meter double garage space that I will be allowed to turn into a proper studio. So I was going to do a bit of a video series talking about the process of designing it and how I wanted things laid out kind of psychologically almost, like the things I wanted to be able to see, the reasons for different kind of spaces and why things would be laid out with like a giant negative space in the middle. So I'm not going to explain all of it here, but it's just I thought I would give you a little sneak preview of the visuals before we do a video about it. And I think the way I'll do it is I think the next video I'll do will be the concepting. So obviously I don't actually have access to completely accurate dimensions for the room. I have the width and the kind of length, but I don't have the height, so I've had to estimate it from pictures that I took inside the place. So once I get more accurate measurements, then I can narrow it down, but that doesn't mean we can't do a concept. Andre says psychologically or cycle. Yeah, fantastic. I'll give you a clap for that one. Nice joke. Well, I'll explain some of the full process while I'm here, so we can, you know, spend a bit of time together. Why not? So I've got the digital space over here, digital workspace. This is very similar to how I'm sitting right now. Like, there's nothing fantastic about this. And I do need to say, remember, you're looking at like a super early sneak peek, so no one usually gets to see this. And I've even like put a camera where my head looks so I can kind of visualize how it will look around. Right now I've only got 2 monitors, and I would love to have a third one there, but I don't have enough space. That's always been the problem, just space. So I will have a third one. And this over here, this little section here, I like to kind of write messages like or emails to people away from the computer almost, because it's like such a distraction. And when I need to email people, for some reason I find it quite difficult. It's like such a task that requires so much focus, especially when it's like businesses trying to message you. And I ignore most of them, but when I do, maybe I shouldn't admit to that, but when I do reply to them, like I really need to focus in and be like, okay, well, how do I want this message to be interpreted? So I just think, well, I'm going to be sending it at the computer. Even just turning 90 degrees to the left is going to help me massively. So that's what I'm doing there. However, the admin space back here, which is still kind of different, is kind of like a further abstract section where I can kind of look around at all the different projects. So digital, computer, and physical workspaces, which I can also explain. It's not too personal. What percentage of your income do you spend on rent? Actually, quite a small amount, because I live with my family at the moment, but I do pay rent to them. But I mean, we can talk about that another time as well. Right, so, oh, hold on. Arturo says, I usually go for a walk if I have to write an email and write it out verbally first. That's probably a good idea, actually, yeah. Kind of like distancing yourself. So the admin space, I feel like, talking about distractions and stuff, I need a space which is separated from all of the workspaces. Just so if I need to maybe be strategic or talk to people about all those different projects, it might sound strange, but even just visually looking at all of these basically like memory markers around the room is a good idea. So I have a separate space for that, which I call admin. Computer and workspace, or computer and network workspace. This will be for kind of any changes I need to make to the computer, like, or maybe like a very static conscious environment. That's where it's going to be. And this kind of TV on the back here doubles up because I'll have my expandable green screen on the other side. But if I'm standing here in front of the green screen, that TV can double up as a prompt or like an auto cue. So I like the idea of that. And then the physical workspace, I want to do 3D printing projects, and there's a miniature KUKA robot arm, which I have access to. Basically, KUKA robots are like, well, it's a German company. They're industrial robots that you'll see used a lot for like car manufacturing. But my dad has a company called Robomoco. I shouldn't maybe give away too much information, but they kind of do motion bases and robotic motion control for film and TV. And I have access to a small one, which technically belongs to me, kind of. So I need to find a space for that to exist, and that will probably be in the physical workspace somewhere alongside the 3D printer. So I might be able to get it to like kind of help out with some things, but that'll be over there. And then this negative space here will be for virtual reality, mocap, experiments, and recording. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a work in progress, and I'm always like jogging things around. It might look like a bit of a weird layout to people, like when they first enter, like, why do you have things coming off at corners? One of the other reasons for like a gap kind of back here is that because this is a double garage, we're going to kind of do it where it folds up like a curve. We know one of those garages, it's not like a kind of straight angled one. We're going to have a patio door behind it, so you will technically be able to do up the garage door and have the patio door bring in natural light as well. So that could also be useful, but it also means that I do need to be a bit careful about the kind of space in front of the door. You need somewhere to park the invisible jet. Yeah. Well, I'm not Wonder Woman, I'm sorry. Oh, Joey has to go. Sorry, Joey. Imagine how easy motion tracking will be with the robot arm. Could be interesting, yeah. I mean, there's lots of space for experimentation with that. And virtual reality, I have to say, I've got an HTC Vive. I want to get an Index. I'm sure people recommend different ones. I'm not too interested in Oculus ones, but I like the idea of the Index. And one of the problems I've always had is that this room is so small that the sensors, they have trouble picking things up. But I have been able to make it work. But finally having like a large space to do it, multi-purpose space, will be fantastic because I could put like sensors or whatever anywhere. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that's a bit interesting. And I had to put the tapestry somewhere. I've got that laying around. But yeah, and also I will say that I have made some collections for visualizing storage space. So kind of if I wanted to get a quick idea for how much space I have for storage, then I can turn that on, and there would still be room underneath like the tables and stuff for that as well, like cabinets and stuff. But I just thought it's an interesting idea, being able to quickly turn on and off and see, okay, this is the amount of space that's allocated for storage and stuff like that. And then also a little bit of mood lighting. I like the idea, like, I mean, if you've seen my videos before, I'm very attuned to like light and color. I get like emotional stimulation for it. And I've always thought that blue or cyans is like a kind of intellectual processing kind of mood. It's like, it's good for work. It's good for just like focusing and stuff, for me anyway. So for all the major workspaces, we'll have blue mood lighting, and then the admin will have orange. It's more comforting. It feels like kind of like, you know, when you're in the shower and it's warm, it's like quite an orange color, I feel like. But then also that's where all your ideas come together. So for like in the admin space, if that's supposed to be like the more abstract place where you're kind of thinking about all the workspaces at once, I feel like that warmth is better from a creativity standpoint, if that makes sense. Maybe a bit weird, but I'll try and find a way to explain this in a video. So yeah, let me just read the chat quickly. How big is the studio going to be? It's about, well, it's 40 something square meters. So I hope it all works out, because that would be really cool. And I should probably close that down. But yeah, I mean, thanks for having a look at that. That's a little sneak preview. My current idea is to put that in the next video, and I'll find a way to try and make it entertaining. That's the thing, like with these new video types, with the humor, which we're about to chat about, it's very difficult, like thinking about really mundane things, because CyclesX, it's a rendering engine. It, you know, technically speaking, it's quite a mundane thing. It's a boring subject to like anyone that's not like a super Blender geek. So it's like, okay, well, how can you talk about a boring subject in a very entertaining way? So that's something I need to get better at, and I'm starting to practice that now with like the new video types. So what screens are you using for the triple setup? Well, I've got this fantastic LG one. It's like a 244 Hertz one, I think, if that's what it is. I love how smooth it is, but you won't be able to see it on the screen because I've only got 30 frames outputting to stream. But I really like this, like the color quality on it is amazing. So I'll probably get like another couple of these and put them around. Okay, work, but are you going to relax? Well, that's just one room in the house. I'll probably relax elsewhere. Get a beanbag in these. I was thinking about beanbags, but oh, that's another thing I didn't mention. So I get a lot of vestibular issues, like balance issues. It's a bit weird. One of the reasons why the computer is at the back corner of the room, first of all, anxiety. I want to be able to see the entrance to the room so no one sneaks up on me. But secondly, I need position reference markers for my brain almost, so I can see where level is. Because I've had issues before when sitting at the computer. If the screen wobbles and I've got my wall behind me right here, my brain thinks that the world is wobbling. So like my head will start spinning. So I need to see something beyond the screens. So that's why it needs to be at the back there. So there's kind of little considerations like that. Did you consider ultra-wide monitor instead of the triples? Yeah, but I kind of prefer them. Like I like having a curve, but having an actual curve again kind of messes with my head a bit. So I think I like having it just like that. Do you think the high refresh rate is worth it? Well, for modeling, it's not really necessary. But to be honest, a higher resolution was surprisingly handy. And about the refresh rate, I always thought that like it wouldn't make a difference, but as soon as I got it, I don't want to go back. So, you know, it's just one of those things. Having that desk here seems pretty cozy. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Like having one kind of to your back. I've always lived in like small rooms and slept in small rooms, and there's something about like I wouldn't want to sleep in a massive room. I love the idea of having like a huge house that I can turn into a studio, like turn different rooms into different kinds of studios. But I think I'd probably sleep in a cupboard, you know, because that feels more cozy. Anyway, yeah, chat about humor. Let's do that. So the new videos have been more humorous. There's been a few reasons for that, I guess. As we were approaching the 100k, I kind of thought to myself, all right, well, honestly, growth is pretty slow at that point. I think YouTube was like closing a lot of bot accounts and closed accounts, and I kind of got a bit anxious about it, kind of seeing that it wasn't really doing well, and I didn't want to just trip over the 100k number at like a snail's pace, because then it just wouldn't feel satisfying, like, oh, we barely made it, you know. So I thought to myself, right, well, realistically, would I watch my own videos? And most of the time the answer is no. And I think the reason for that is that I don't really watch Blender tutorials nowadays anyway. Like, I mean, I like them. I think they bring good value, and I think, you know, they're inspiring to people. But I wouldn't watch mine because they weren't entertaining enough. So I thought, okay, well, we need to find a way to inject some more entertainment into it. And I thought, well, there are like kind of 4 pillars in my mind for what the channel should represent, or what the channel should do. So it should build things, because the world needs more stuff all the time. It should inspire people. So that's why I think like the cool artworks and stuff, that's what it does, it inspires people. It should educate people. That's what the tutorials do. And like, did I already say entertain? But entertain's like the other one. Build, inspire, educate, and entertain. That's what they should do. And I had to look at all of those, and I thought, well, entertain is the one that's missing out, like out of all of them. So these recent videos have just been me trying to experiment with that and see if we can put more into it. And it's a bit of a backtrack from what I've been doing, because all the videos before that were me progressively finding more and more efficient ways to make videos, like to do them easier, to make them faster. And now all of a sudden they're like 1000% harder to make, because they take so much more editing effort, but they are worth it, mostly. I mean, like, these 3 here, they were above average for like all of the statistics. Like, everyone was watching, like, more people were clicking on them, more people were watching them for longer and stuff like that. This latest one, not so much, but it's not a hot topic, it's just more like a vanity video. So, yeah. I think your videos have the perfect amount of entertainment versus education, says Sam. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's what I want to try and achieve. And the way I kind of plan it out while I'm writing them now is I will have like chapters for the core pieces of information that I want to get across, and then I will have like bullet points for that information, and then at the end I'll say, okay, well, now the section's over, let's see if we can find a way to inject some comedy, like a bit of humor, just to like trail it onto the next section so people don't get too bored. So it's interesting. I'm still learning. It's a learning process, trying to figure out how to do that. And I think this next project will be an interesting one as well, because it's a studio. It's boring. Like, I mean, okay, so it's interesting from the Blender standpoint, but do people really want to hear about like my kind of weird ramblings about my psychology and how I want to lay things out? Thank you very much, Slink, for the 2 €2? Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, do people really want to hear that? So it's, how do we inject comedy into this? I'll need to look at all these workspaces, try and explain them one by one, and then maybe try and find a way to kind of stimulate the entertainment aspect in between that. And I feel like I'm kind of studying other people as well, seeing how they do it. One of my favorite YouTubers, oh my god, have to give a massive shout out to Nakey Jakey, because I think he's just the funniest person on YouTube. Also Garrett Watts, because the absurdism in their videos is amazing, but we can probably talk about them again in a little bit. I also enjoy your humorous edits, don't interrupt the flow of the video and the info you provide. Yeah, that's really good to hear that, so thank you for saying that, because I can't tell always. Have you heard about the 24-hour rule? This is just a general question to people. That when you're making something, especially if you're like a creative and you're working on a piece of artwork, that can you type those names out? Well, I'll show you those channels in a little bit. I'll make a note to do that. So the 24-hour rule is where you're so hyper-focused on something creative, right? That you're losing sight of it almost from like the fresh perspective. So you can't see it through the eyes of a new person looking at your artwork. So it means that you will stop looking at the big picture. The 24-hour rule says, okay, when you're not sure about a direction, stop working on it. Like, just stop working on it, go away, come back to it a day later, and you will feel differently about it, because you would have kind of, the stuff that you've been thinking about in your short-term memory while working on the project is kind of dissipating. When you come back, you'll be closer to a new person's perspective on it. So that's something I've been finding while working on these new videos, is that I can't feel if the pacing's good at all. But then when I come back the next day, I get a bit of a better sense for it. This last one, it's 8.5 minutes long. I cut out a whole minute of content. That just goes to show kind of the kind of ratio for things that get cut out. So yeah, if you are creative and you have trouble with perceiving your own work, keep that in mind. Don't just sit in your one perspective and cram it all out until you publish it. Just take some breaks, come back, and feel different about it. So that's the 24-hour rule. So we'll move on to recommendations. This is going to get not very Blender related, but I want to share some things. They tell us it's an architecture school, but then don't give us 24 hours to breathe. Yeah, well, I can imagine that. I don't really like the school system that much. I don't think it's particularly great for creatives. I've got more portfolios coming through, by the way, so that's good to see. We'll get onto that. So, the recommendations. I will say, just completely randomly, I have been massively enjoying the new game Deathloop. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's a really interesting idea. Not Blender related at all. I just love video games. Deathloop is an interesting game. Let me see if I can bring up the cover work for it. So it's an interesting game where essentially you're stuck in a time loop where the only way to get out of it is to assassinate a set number of targets within a day. And you really need to learn about their routines and how they behave and what they do to figure out how to get them together to take them out before the day ends so you can break the loop. And I played it for 2 or 3 days straight. I was absolutely obsessed with it. When I started, I was like, oh god, I don't want to have to figure out all these characters and what they do. But by the end of it, I was here with my notepad making notes and figuring it all out, and I absolutely loved it. So it's a recommendation if you're interested in video games. I think it's fantastic. And I think IGN or someone gave it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's kind of like Dishonored. It's made by the same people that made Dishonored, which is also one of my favorite games. So yeah, Arcane. Shout out to Arcane. Fantastic. So books. Recommendations for books. I finished reading Originals. Let me just bring this over. Originals by Adam Grant, How Nonconformists Changed the World. I think that's a very good book. There's a few points in here that I really loved, and there was one about child prodigies, because I was very interested in studying how, you see these shows about kind of basically young geniuses, kids where their parents put them on these shows and they outsmart everyone, but you never hear about them ever again, and you wonder why. And I've always thought about that because in this community, this Blender community, we have some fantastic young minds, and I'm kind of worried about them disappearing from the world. And I want to find ways for that not to happen. So it was interesting reading about this. A lot of it's to do with validation and kind of parental guidance, kind of ruining things unintentionally. But it was just interesting to learn about. So there's a lot of interesting things in there. And then now I'm reading 2 books, which are The State of the Art by Ian Banks, because I'm working through his culture sci-fi series, and Behave by Robert Sapolsky, if I can get that last name right, which is about human behavior. And there's a lot in there about kind of aggression and why people get aggressive. So those are book recommendations. So yeah, awesome source. Off topic, I would love tutorial how to combine CG background with UE5, get the parallax and everything. Yeah, tell you what, I was kind of considering doing more Unreal Engine 5 videos. But the problem is, Unreal Engine 5 is great and it's got quite a large audience, but YouTube is very dependent on how your original subscribers respond to your new videos. Your new videos will only get recommended if your original subscribers enjoy them, basically. If they do above average, they're more likely to get recommended, so you can't take too far a step away from your regular content, otherwise you kind of get shot in the foot. So you need to be careful with how you do things. So when I did a video for Unreal Engine, the how to make a cinematic one, I had to tie Blender into it in some way, just to kind of keep that link going. So that's one of the considerations for being a content creator on YouTube is if you're a creative, you always want to take a step away and try new things, but you have this audience which you're beholden to. because if you take too far a step, then you're dead, basically, because your original subscribers don't want to watch it, so it doesn't get recommended and stuff like that. So, yes. I have not heard of the game Arcadian Rift. I'm sorry, actually I might have heard about it, but I'm not too sure. So other recommendations. The YouTubers I mentioned earlier, one that I really like, again just for comedy purposes, let me bring up this, is Garrett Watts.
Wait.
I like him because of his comedy. And again, talking about the whole humor aspect, I like the kind of philosophical idea of absurdism, which is where like life is pointless in a way. So what's the point in being serious all the time? You've got to throw in some absurdism. And another thing I guess I could say about this is that there are a few emotions or feelings that I am really kind of fascinated with, and you might have seen this on my channel a bit. I'll try and explain this because like I get a real kick out of providing people with like emotional value, and I've kind of boiled them down into 3 categories. One of them is the weird kind of euphoric sense of amazement you get from like watching like a cool movie trailer that has really powerful music and like the visuals are just fantastic. And I've tried to capture that with like the Epoch short, so maybe I can actually show that quickly because I think I've got that here. So let me turn the audio down a bit, but just assuming that I'm assuming that a lot of you would have seen this, but I tried to capture that feeling here where there's like a high of music that happens where there's strong visuals. That's an emotion that I'm really fascinated with. I feel like if you're like me anyway, like you daydream a lot, and when you're looking at things like this you tend to daydream and kind of stimulate your own ideas and feelings into it. So this is one of the 3 feelings that I like, but there's a very key point where this happens. I'll try and just play that. So it's here, it builds up, and then there'll be like a kind of crash down again where the feeling explodes in my mind. So I'll just play it for a little bit and let that come along. So I feel like as people are watching this, they're kind of daydreaming and like, you know, feeling the mood of it. And I love that. So that's one of the reasons I did the kind of short project like that. The other 2 feelings are the kind of euphoric comedy you get from watching something that's entertaining and you keep getting like hits of entertainment all the way through it. That's why I love Naked Jakey's videos. And I should probably bring him up as well, because whenever he tries to talk about things, he throws in these such absurd jokes and it makes it so funny, and a lot of it is so nostalgic as well. So that's what I've been trying to inject into the recent videos, this kind of nice sense of comedy coming along. And the third feeling, which is something I have not been able to put onto my channel yet, is psychological fear and horror. I think it's so fascinating. I hate horror films. Right, I hate watching them, but one of the reasons is because like I hate jump scares. I think they're cheap and lazy. But that weird feeling you get from like, you know, being alone in a Victorian house, that kind of thing, where it's all dark and you feel like something's around you but you're not too sure and your eyes might start watering. That's such a fascinating feeling, but I have no way of transferring that into the channel yet. But I tell you what, I would love to I would love to take some other Blender YouTubers to like a supposedly haunted house, get them to split up and maybe make something in Blender just like in the corner, like, you know, in a random room. I think that would be so entertaining for people. But yeah, Agnew, thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. I love it. Thank you very much. Woo. Thank you so much, man. So yeah, those are the 3 feelings, like the awesome music combined with visuals, the comedy, and the horror. So fascinating. So with that in mind, I also want to recommend something completely out of left field. I've been watching this channel called Amy's Crypt. It's one of these channels, this is a bit of like a guilty pleasure. The kind of people that just go around to supposedly haunted places. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts or anything, but because I like that feeling, I just like watching these channels where they go and they, you know, try and do that stuff. The atmospherics are really cool. I like it. So yeah, if you're for some reason interested in that kind of stuff. Now I'm seeing some. Oh, Mert, thank you so much for the donation. Very nice. Love it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it really helps. It's such a lovely confidence boost. I've seen some questions about the NFTs, like kind of coming through chat, and crypto art. I will say I'm kind of interested not in talking about that because it's a very contentious subject. I do have opinions about it. Okay, I will say that. But I have a lot of friends and creator friends that are like really in deep with it. And at the same time, I've considered that I might give it a try at some point. However, I'm more leaning on the side of not doing that. So I don't really want to explain all of like my thoughts about it here. I will just say I don't think crypto is necessary for digital art ownership. I'll put it that way. But I don't think digital art ownership is a bad thing at all. Not at all. So, do you like how diplomatic that answer was? That should be a politician. Oh my god, Sharon! Nice! Thank you so much. Oh, fantastic. I will say as well that since focusing more on doing these kind of comedic edit type videos, my income for this month has gone down. If you're kind of wondering why, like I've done a lot of affiliate type content in the past, like this animation course and that, it's because to stay above like a kind of reasonable level, I have to do it. It's my substitute for sponsorships. I don't really do sponsorships on the channel anymore. I might do in the future. I'm speaking to one company that's interested. However, you know, I take a bit of a risk doing these new edits because they're not like very commercially focused. So my income is about halved for this month, and that's why I really appreciate it that you have the donations coming through. So that's again, like if you're kind of wondering why something like this hasn't happened at an earlier time, it's because there's a lot of factors that go into it from, you know, like a business standpoint, a survival standpoint, whatever. So there is one more channel, actually two more channels, but they both do the same thing that I want to recommend. And I'm going to completely geek out about this. But I love these channels that take really old footage, like historical footage, like AI upscale it and colorize it. And there's something so cool about it. So there's one here, Rick, and there's 8 times, so 8. And yeah, I mean, like click here, you can have a look at the Titanic before and after the disaster. I just think it's really cool. It's kind of eerie, but it's kind of high quality footage as well. I mean, it's not just the Titanic, it's like kind of the rescue ships as well, but there's something weirdly like obsessive about watching it. And there's another channel that does a similar thing as well. I'll bring that up here. Denis Shirayev, don't know if I pronounced that right. There's one here I thought which was really interesting to me, which is laborers in Victorian England, because when I was in school we learned about, you know, how the kids would be forced to work in kind of in industrial conditions in London and stuff. So, but one thing about this that's really cool is that these people, they're just kind of playing around with the camera, and they have no idea that, you know, over 100 years from now someone else is going to be watching. And look at them, they're in such a state because they've been like forced to work, and they look way older than they should do, but they're all just having fun with the camera and they have no idea that we're looking back. And I just think there's something really cool about it, especially now that it's kind of been upscaled and like colorized. 4K Productions, nice, thank you for the donation, very nice again. Sam says, oh my god, the colorization stuff is so scary, so crazy and scary to me. There's something distant about having footage black and white, but color brings it. Yeah, it does, totally brings it forward. Like, look at their faces. It's like they, I mean, these people they're dead now. Like, all of these kids are gone, and they have no idea that we're kind of looking back at them, just like having fun, making jokes and all of that. Yeah, they're ghosts. It's really weird. So maybe it sounds a bit geeky or weird, but it's really kind of fascinating. So if you're interested in that, then these channels are like really cool places to see it. So we can move on to the portfolio review. I'm sure some of you have been waiting. All right, let's see. I have quite a substantial list of links now. Let's see. I'll read the chat quickly. Got to give the chat some love. I've been using Blender as a creative outlet for a while now. Is it normal not to settle on a given art style or for your style to be all over the place? Well, one thing I've found, Patterns, who put that comment, is that it's not often the case that you define your own style. Like, you will choose to experiment with certain things. And, you know, the more you experiment with things, the more obvious that will become to people that that's what you're playing with. Wrestling with gaming, your videos have been extremely helpful with my own work. Thanks so much for making these. Thank you. That's lovely to hear. So glad to hear that. And thank you so much for the donation. That's really kind of heartwarming. To continue with the point from Patterns, I've noticed that other people basically decide what your art style is for you. It's not necessarily the case that you decide it for yourself. If you just make the things that you like making, it kind of just comes like an emergent property of that creativity. I think that would be the appropriate term for it. So I wouldn't worry too much about having a style or defining a style. Just make the things you want to make and, you know, it will happen. Alex, is that Nugget? It's got a similar profile picture. I'm totally all over the place, which I think is fine. I think trying different things is good. Yeah, totally. You will learn more things by experimenting with different fields. And I guess it's also you'll become more creative because you'll be able to identify links between fields that other people might not have been able to find beforehand, as opposed to if you just focused in on one specific field. So, portfolio. Where's the first link? Peter Coleman. Let's see, is that gonna... Oh, it's not opening in the right one. I'll copy the link instead. Oh yeah, it is Nugget. Nice. Okay, so Peter Coleman, let's take a look at this. First of all, a big variety. So lots of different types of stuff. You have some motion graphics. I'm going to click on this one first. I like that. That's very cool. I like how it's not the same for every letter as well. I love this little puff at the end of the S there. Kind of cute. Very cool. The variety for a portfolio is not necessarily always a good thing if you're kind of applying for a job. But I like, we were just talking about experimentation. If you're kind of in the learning process, it's a good thing to try different stuff. Let's take a look at your glass shatter work in progress. I mean, that looks really cool. With the lighting, the kind of refraction. Yeah, the water's a little bit clumpy, but that's not... I mean, if you're using Blender for this, who can blame that, you know? But I love it. Lighthouse... I like that you're doing a lot of animations. These aren't just like still images as well. That takes more effort. Can we see your Overwatch gameplay? No. Keypad. Sorry, the other one didn't really load properly. I like this. This is nice. Hey, nice. Animated. Yeah, nice to see some like proper motion graphics animations type stuff. Artifact. I wonder if you used a kind of what's the name of that fracture add-on again? Oh, yearbook. Okay, for your school. Just in case there's people in there, I don't want to put that on, but... Oh, that's pretty. I like the progress animation as well. Very cool. Oh, but you're a student, so you are learning. Yeah, I like that you're experimenting with lots of different stuff. Good idea. Cell fracture. There you go. You got it. So the next one is by... Okay, so I'm going to pronounce this as Yan because that's how I've always heard it from people. But, you know, feel free to correct me if I got it wrong. What's your main in Overwatch? Tracer and Pharah. So let's take a look at Yan's content. Or Jan, if it's, you know, pronounced that way. Immediately, I'm liking the style because if you know me, I like my weird abstract shapes and weird industrial with mixed colors and stuff. I'm seeing mixed colors here, lots of glowing reds and blues, especially the blues, kind of industrials here with grungy elements. I like that. Of course I do. But let's take a look. I can kind of see these repeating textures here though. I feel like we can maybe do something a bit better there. But I think composition wise, you're very good at laying out a scene. Let's move along. Yeah, so the kind of feel I'm getting from this is that maybe up close we might be missing out on some detail elements, but like from a distance this is good stuff. Because I've seen a lot of people do similar things to this, but they haven't laid out the lighting or the effects like anywhere near as good. Of course Tracer's your main, she's British. Yeah. No, I just like the way that you can really mess with people as Tracer. Like, I was so good at doing the recalls, just like annoying people so much. Okay, I kind of like this. I feel like the textures are a bit off scale for the Rust. Maybe scale was an issue here. Like, we need some more references because I feel like the trash is kind of big, but this kind of gives, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. It just feels a bit off, but I like the overview. Ah, okay, that's a cool effect. I like that. Again, you're experimenting with a lot of different things. .360 Blender looping animation. Not bad. Cool, I like that. Nice kind of VJ loop type stuff. Can you get portfolio review only if you work at Blizzard? No. I haven't reviewed anyone who works at Blizzard. Okay, let me take a look at another. Charon. Okay, so Charon's bit is on here. If you know Charon, the creator, well, okay, so one of the people that owns the channel Just 3D Things, who I've recommended so many times on my YouTube channel because he's basically my therapist at this point. Such a lovely person. Actually, why don't I get him in? Charon, come in. If he's listening. Maybe I can drag him in. There we go. Charon.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Just for your own benefit, you might want to like mute the stream. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let me roast your portfolio.
Oh my god.
All right, but I'll have a sip first. I've got to think. Got to sip that tea. Hold on.
Okay. I'm kind of scared, Curtis.
I'm gonna be harsh on you.
You should be.
Why do you have text on only one of these images?
My wish?
Why is there text down here and nothing
Okay.
else? Also, you got these really nice kind of spheres here, but I mean, you're kind of showing off materials down here, but these are just scenes, they're not spheres. Why not make it consistent, you know? It looks lovely being
I'll
consistent.
try.
Also, why not try and have the same color backgrounds for all these different thumbnails here, huh? Because that would kind of
Yeah.
look cool, wouldn't it? Like, we'd have such a
Yeah,
nice
it-
thing. Your banner's perfect, don't worry about that, that's fine.
Oh, thank you. Finally, positive.
I like the ghost huggy frame. This is very nice. Also, this
Oh,
texture around the frame, so good. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
I love the kind of atmospheric elements you have with the dust coming in front of the camera. Not too overwhelming as to disrupt the image. Pretty good. Nice kind of bokeh effect, or how do people pronounce it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Consistency is
I just
key,
got a
says
big
Tech. Yeah. Live Charon roast Lamau. I really like this one. However, it feels a bit empty, you know? Also, why is it all pawns? Why not have like some other pieces in there as well? But I will say that the materials you have on it are really, like, very good. So don't worry
Oh,
about
thank
that.
you.
Yeah. I mean, we have to praise your procedural materials. It's something that you've always been good at. Feline Entity
Yeah.
says needs more cats. Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, yeah.
So
I should
let's have a look.
make cats too. Like I love to groom cats and Blender.
Charon. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh. Don't.
Ugh. What is this stretching here? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Why bring it out that far if it's that visible? Come on, man.
Oh man, that's rendered in Eevee, by the way. I think that's why.
Okay.
Using
Right.
I
okay.
used Ben's thingy, you know, the battle apps.
Oh yes,
Whatever.
Ben. BBBN 19. It is
Yes,
19,
yes.
isn't it? I
Yeah.
didn't get the number wrong.
BBB in 19.
Yeah. Oh, Ben's amazing. Also,
Yeah.
maybe one of my other therapists. I'm joking. I always loved this one, by the way, that you did.
Oh, thank you.
I thought
That is
that-
my first favorite one as well. Like, that's when I knew I can do stuff with Blender properly.
Yeah, this one was always good. This one was quite pretty, nice, a bit more stylized. Yeah,
Mhm.
but see, look. So you've got the environment render here for this render,
Yeah.
and you've got the sphere first. Why not do the same
Yeah.
for the others?
I just thought it'll be consistent to have. Maybe I'll try updating and see how it looks on portfolio and
Yeah.
see I can continue that scheme all around.
But you know, I like your other renders. You're very good at
Thank
doing these
you.
kind of still life type ones. So yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, I've I was gonna say fanboyed. I've roasted you enough. Gonna move on to another one. You can stick around if you want.
Oh yeah, I'll be here. No worries.
So that's Charon done. Theo. Okay, I know this person. They're another member in our server. I'm pretty sure I've reviewed Theo in the past. I can't remember. I might have done. I think I have. But again, like, Theo's been present and doing a lot of the art challenges we do on Discord. So I recognize a significant number of these from those challenges. What I think I like about Theo is, again, the variety. They're not afraid to try things. And they also know what they like. We got, what was the show from this again? Laputa Castle in the Sky. Okay, yeah. I really like this one, all the details and etc. So you're taking some fan arts as well. You're doing some of that. Nice Hollow Knight one here. Very good.
I love the variety here.
Yeah, the variety, very good. And you know, I like my Hollow Knight fan arts. Twice, twice in the. All right, I'm gonna get rid of you now. You've had enough. Thing is, like, Yoshi is the one that's responsible for bringing these portfolios to me, so I need to give him a direct instruction not to send me yours in the future. Joking. All right, Greg, let's take a look. So Houdini stuff going on here as well. Houdini and Unreal Engine, and is that Octane I'm seeing?
Ooh.
All right, so let's take a look. Oh, the alternate realities challenge. Healy. Oh my god, thanks for your opinion on my art, and here's some money for better days. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thank you for submitting your portfolio as well. You were very lovely. So thank you. So yeah. Oh, okay. I really like the Zeus in the background, and I have to assume that's Zeus because of the whole lightning going on throughout the, you know, the clouds.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's amazing. The lighting is spot on.
Yeah, this is actually really, really cool. I like this. Very nice. All right.
Octane has always been really good with photorealism.
Yeah, it has. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I feel like
it's costly, dude.
Okay,
we have cycles.
I need to put the glasses on for the portfolio review. I know I'm a bit late, but it just feels appropriate, you know? Let's do it.
Yeah.
I can also see clearer as well, so I can get those real fine details. Houdini procedural Ivy generator in Unreal Engine. First of all, that looks really cool. Let's see.
I love Houdini.
Oh wow, so you're getting branches for the geometry.
And distorting the normals and placing the leaves on top, scattering the leaves. I think using points to volume, or like copy to points, I think.
I love
this is
that.
amazing. I always wanted to do something like this, but never knew how I could do that.
The thing is, I don't really know anything about the interoperability between Houdini and Unreal, because sorry, not Unreal. Unreal. Sorry. Yes. I don't know how they work together. Like, is it like a plugin system where you can kind of use the generators in Unreal and modify the values? Is it a bit like how Substance had plugins for other things? We could still modify the values and get different results, but instead it's for generators.
Yeah, exactly. You'll generate all sorts of you'll generate the whole system inside Houdini and then export the file to Houdini Engine, which is free for Unreal, by the way. And you can scatter any sorts of objects in those locations which you pre-coded in Houdini, which is amazing. So you can build whole world systems and procedural world systems, which goes forever and ever using these rules that you build in Houdini. It's so good. It's also there for Unity as well. I know you have done a bit of that.
Yeah, Unity. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at this Lego one here because this reminds me of Ben's geometry nodes one as well.
Oh yeah.
I love this. It's like kind of remeshing, but with Lego. I love it. I bet the people behind the Lego games would be very interested in seeing how this was done. So it looks great. I don't want to spend too long, but I've got like no complaints about any of this whatsoever. Very cool. Panzerkampfwagen. Pronunciation just. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Greg. I love your content.
You learned German, right?
I was learning it for a little while, yeah. Not anymore. Don't have time. Oh, Brighton, by the way. Nice. Oh, Decagon. So that's why you're so good.
Oh my god.
All right. So I didn't see that. Well, that explains quite a lot then. All right. Nice. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for submitting if you're watching. All right.
I've been looking at their artwork, dude. They're really amazing.
They are.
People.
Sorry, I was just checking some comments, rather. All right, let's see this next one. This next one is an Instagram one. Except all ddd.renders by Milan Mishra. Sorry again if I pronounced that wrong. Making weird 3D stuff in Blender. Let's check. Oh, am I not allowed to click on this when I'm not logged in? I will bring over my actual Instagram account. Hang on. Because that will make things so much easier. I just don't want to get like any kind of personal like friends or family accounts showing on it. So, let's see. Desolate Phone Booth, inspired by Kim Holtman's photograph series. I like this. I mean, the kind of floor here is it kind of looks like it's a bit generated almost, but I like the mood of this, especially those reflections in there and the imperfection on the glass going. I love this kind of subtle bloom bits as well. I like it. Blender 3.0. So that's recent, yeah? August 19th. Pretty good. So that's an experimental build. Pretty nice. Japanese school. Yeah, good. I like the mood here. Got the kind of god rays going. They're not too overwhelming. I've seen people that make the rays way too overwhelming when they discover that they can do them.
Yeah.
So yeah. So how can I get abstract humanoid models? I'm not too sure actually. I mean, if you take like a normal model, you can do all kinds of weird effects to kind of decimate it, and maybe you can make it abstract that way. Feli says, I made sure he stopped learning the Evil's okay, so the devil's language. Yeah, I kind of stopped learning to speak German. I ran out of time. That's what it was. I got a job on YouTube. Right. Oh, I like this. I like the mood of this because you got like the proper accent color going. That's something I feel like people do miss out on. Oh, that kind of water's kind of stimulating as well.
Yeah, the caustics.
It doesn't look necessarily realistic because it's so consistently disrupted. But I like it. It's nice to look at. You got the little kind of leaves in the water as well. Nice kind of imperfection. These kind of remind me of the botanic plants. It's like kind of pre-potted, but I like these. It's just got a good feel to it. This James Traley vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And for people who don't know who James Traley is, he's a really good artist. He's also on Blender Nest. Sharon, can you just check the Blender Nest server for me, because I've got a notification ping and I don't know if that's a response to the earlier thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
Okay, I'll check that in a minute. Interstellar, I love this. Made a poster for it. This is great. I know what the watch means in relation to the film because I love the film. So good. It's one of the few films that like made me properly cry, and I'm not afraid to admit that, you know. But yeah, if you haven't seen the film, I definitely recommend it. Watch it by yourself and with the music up, definitely. Like the audio. It's worth it.
Really love the mode of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think good. Photoshop, if you use for post-processing, that's spot on. Like I would put that on a book or something, you know, if I would write a book.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so animated poster. Oh, so you got the proper. Nice. I love it. This is good. 10 out of 10 from me.
Oh, wow.
Well done. This is nice, kind of moody. About lighting, we should probably say this because I think I said it in maybe the first stream, I can't remember. Negative space or dark space is just as important as positive or light space almost. I feel like a lot of the time people try and light every aspect of their scene. You really don't need to. More like if you're going for realism, because not everything is lit. And I think I remember, I don't know who it was who pointed this out, but in films and TV shows, if you pay attention to the sets, you see that like every light and every lamp is turned on, and that's not realistic. If you walk about your day-to-day life, no one has like every single lamp in their house like on. So yeah, if you're doing renders, consider the dark space, because it can tell as much of a story as the light space. Like, so I kind of like that you're kind of considering that here. Maybe it's a bit too much, because I feel like with that amount of lighting coming in, there'd be a bit more bounce going on for that background. But yeah, I like it. I like that it's kind of coming through quite a unique set of curtains here, or drapes. I can't really tell whether that's like a frame that's putting that onto the cloth, or whether the cloth actually has semi kind of transparent rectangles in it, but I like the look of it anyway. So, okay, again, like another kind of James Traley vibe going on. And I'm sorry to compare to other artists, I shouldn't do that. But I love the mood of it. It's these kind of furniture pieces, like homely comfort pieces, in areas that don't feel traditionally homey. That's basically what it is, and I'm seeing more of a trend of that going on. But I like it. I really like it. Feels like a really cool place to chill, to sit back and read a book. But you've got a good like comfort vibe going on with these. And in particular, I love that texture on the back wall you got going on there. Love it. It kind of looks like wood that's nailed in, but I like that it's kind of small. Very cool. Oh, I've got so many.
I see why
links.
you look at this and see why it is Genstralia. It's all mundane. A little mundane, not completely.
Yeah, but like in a nice way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an ArtStation one. Let me go back here. Dudley's Story, 3D designer from Calgary, Canada. I've been to Canada once. I liked it.
Okay, I'm sorry to say this. I can feel the Harry Potter stuff coming into me.
Oh, okay. Is that from the
I'm
name?
sorry. Yeah.
From Dudley? Or...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Charon's a massive Harry Potter fan. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't bring him along when Harry Potter's present. Okay, so variety, nice looking props, consistent backgrounds, which is a good thing. I like that, but like not all the way through, but for a significant amount of it. Okay, nice. Good bevels, good modeling. Just formulating. It's quite a difference going on here. Like this British naval cutlass. I mean, look at the background here, and the quality level feels a bit different. Not too sure if that's clipping through over there, but I like these kind of prop pieces here, and I feel like if that's your strength, keep them together, because I think they'll look a lot better without these kind of different background pieces in the way. And then if someone's scrolling through, like if you're applying for a job, they'll know by seeing that chunk there that okay, this is the prop focus section, and then here's like the environment pieces underneath, rather than kind of scatter them around. But I do like the variety going on. Oh, like they've got some chess pieces as well. Let's see. Kind of feels like there's a bit of missing space here, but I do like the textures, and kind of this is quite interesting. The lion head and the wallpaper. Material's not too bad. Feels like I could do a bit of imperfection though, but I quite like it.
Yeah, this looks like both plastic and the realistic looking. The modeling looks perfect, but the materials look a little bit too shiny for my taste.
I get a nice generalist vibe from this. So yeah, I mean, I think you're doing what we kind of recommended earlier about the experimentation, because I feel like you've got a wide breadth of experience going. But yeah, if I could recommend anything, it would be kind of categorize these a bit more with your kind of backgrounds, because you've got prop focuses and then you've got environment pieces and some things in between. If you can just cluster them together, then I think it would look more presentably nicer. Have you seen Dune? I love how they use negative space composition. I haven't seen Dune. It's not available here yet. I think they released a few weeks early in other countries, but not here. But I would love to see it. I'm looking forward to it. But it's a Denis Villeneuve film, I think. And who's doing the cinematography? Is Roger Deakins doing it? Oh, DDD donated. Thanks for the review, Curtis and Sharon. Motivating me to make more stuff. Appreciate you contributing to the blending community. Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you for submitting your portfolio. So lovely.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really good.
Dune cinematographer. Right. Oh, okay, so different one this time. Greg Fraser. Okay, I'll do my own research about that later on. Right, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing the film. Next one is an Instagram one. So give me one sec. The gas scan. All right. So I've got so many windows open. I need to organize everything. Oh, okay. So, Bharat, is that how you would say that?
Bharat Madhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon. This is why I have my
No worries, yeah.
my Indian compadre next to me. Right. Oh, I have to click on this. Let me see this.
Oh wow, Among Us.
Okay, interesting. There's such a big variety here. I love this. This is like a lot of Photoshop work as well.
photography and Photoshop.
Yeah, you do a lot of different stuff.
great.
You kind of like mixed media, merging fields. So have you been doing 3D the whole time? I don't know if you're in the chat, but have you been doing 3D the whole time? Or were you starting off doing like 2D and then you're kind of merging the 3D into your workflow? Because I like this.
Can you click on the second one?
Wait, this one? You might be seeing it delayed, I think.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
The garbage bot.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Okay, lots of detail here. I also like how you've kind of got the basic shape and then the details on top, so you're not just like clustering all the detail together. It's smart. Let me see. Oh, you got your own alternate reality submission as well. Very cool. Lots of detail. Yeah, I can tell you've been doing this for a while. I don't know how long you've been doing the 3D, but it's good. I like it. Always interesting seeing people that can combine like their fields of skills. Hold on. Whenever I see a well like this, where's that from? Grant Abbott. Yeah, I recognize it. Shout out to Grant Abbott, the reason why I have a functioning YouTube channel. Well, there's a couple of people I need to thank. Bart Veldhuizen, if that's how you pronounce his last name, which I haven't actually asked him, but I always say it that way. And Grant Abbott, because when I put the first tutorial series out on my channel, which was all the way back...
Unity stuff?
Building a sci-fi corridor, Blender and Unity.
Yeah.
He found it on the Blender Nation website, and he made a video about like absorbing inspiration as an artist. And he shared it. And I think he had 40,000 something subscribers at that point. And now, if we can check, he is on 339,000. Wow. So, and Grant was also one of the 6 founding members of the Blender Nest channel. He's very busy nowadays. He hasn't been along for a while, but I mean, like, we can still stay in contact. He's doing really well, and I have massive respect and appreciation for him. So Grant Abbott, Pog, yes.
Pog.
All right. Maybe we'll do a few more portfolios. What's the time? Let me check the time. Oh, we've got time. Okay. It's always hard to tell how time passes when doing stuff like this. All right, Franko Vlahov. Don't know how to pronounce it. That's the interesting thing about being like an international Blender YouTuber, is every name you encounter is a different challenge. So you can imagine that when making videos, right? Because when I used to prepare scripts for all my videos and I wanted to share people's content, I'm ashamed to say I may have left a couple of people out sometimes when I had absolutely no idea how to say the name. And I may feel a bit bad about that, but like sometimes it was really difficult. But you have to choose a pronunciation and you have to go with it. And I did that a lot of times, and 9 times out of 10 it was okay. Sometimes I got what's the word? I got talked the right way, I guess. So Franko Vlahov, let's see. Cozy Mountain Lodge. I like this. It is quite cozy. The textures, I think, maybe could be a bit better, because it feels like there's no depth kind of coming out of this, and also how it kind of intersects on the corners there. But I like the composition. Very nice. And it does feel cozy. All the kind of details of what you've got there on the table. Maybe even, like, maybe we don't need all of this space in here if you kind of just put the frame down a bit. But yeah, I like the construction of this. I think the materials is the only thing that's a bit lacking.
Yeah, lighting is amazing too.
Yeah. Kind of similar with this, although I wonder if we could have... The white just feels a bit too blown out, I guess. Maybe with a bit of imperfection. Maybe this is just more of a design issue than an actual lighting issue. But yeah, I still kind of like the mood of it. I would say maybe we could have a bit more stuff over here, but I can see that's one of those plate heaters kind of on the thing. But I quite like it. It's got a nice mood to it. Like, if you were doing a visualization for an interior design company, that's more than enough. Creepy horror nightmare character. Oh gosh. Especially after me watching all those horror videos.
Oh my God.
Maybe rapid fire portfolios to the end, towards the end. Yeah, maybe I could do. Let me just read a couple of comments. My trick is to say the name differently every single time, including after I've been corrected. Then they could all be... Okay, yeah, then they can assume there's something wrong with you. Yeah. Okay, so one thing that pops to mind is, you know, Luca Rude.
Yeah.
Did you see his tweet?
Yes, I did. But I know how to pronounce his name though.
Okay, well I didn't. Luca Road. That's how you pronounce
Road,
it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Luca Road, yeah.
It's R-O-O-D, and I've always said rude in my videos. And I kind of wish that he would have told me earlier.
How rude.
Yeah.
Unintended, but yeah, it's okay.
All right, so I'm going to try and blitz these a bit more because we do have a lot. Now, I know for a fact that we have taken a look at some of your, again, names. I can't say your name, I'm sorry. And I don't really want to try because I'm going to butcher it. We've seen some of your content on the Blender Nest channel on an art review, and I have liked it. We took a look at this one, and I kind of like the kind of philosophical aspect of it, and that you recreated his design studio. I thought that was very cool. I like the intention behind it. It's very nice. You do have some very cool interior scenes as well. Maybe a bit too blocky. Maybe the sizes are a bit off, especially with like the kind of clock down there. Is that supposed to be an oven? It seems very thin for an oven, but overall, lighting wise, very good. I quite like that. Same thing here, you know, very blocky, not necessarily, doesn't have the kind of curves that reality has. What else we got here? Okay, so you're trying these, again, just a bit blocky. Is that an Assassin's Creed logo at the top there? Notice how I find that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me move on to another one. Someone says, okay, not a portfolio per se, more of a work in progress stuff. That's fine. I'll keep that in mind. So I assume you're kind of like learning. That's fine. I can notice the Andrew Price Anvil tutorial, if I'm assuming that's what it is, and the donut one as well. Well done. You're nice. You're following the kind of traditional learning path. Very cool. I like that you have nice color variety going on here. Also, the background's a bit dull for this dice one, but it is an animation. If I can take a look at that. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, but one suggestion, like when you're applying for a job, don't put any work in progress.
Yeah.
Because they don't really need work in progress. They only want to see the final.
That's a cool animation. I like that. But the only downside about this is that the thumbnail's boring. Whereas the animation's nice, but I don't suppose you can do anything about that on Instagram. Okay, kind of noisy. I can tell you've kind of just what's the value? Distortion on the procedural nodes?
Noise and distortion, yeah.
Yeah, turned all the way up. I kind of like it. Again, maybe the lighting's a bit basic, but yeah, I like the vibes. But you are learning.
I think
it's very cool.
Used what is it called? Emission node, I think.
All right.
They should be using a principal BSDF or something.
Among Us.
Oh yeah.
I like this one. This is cute. This one I think feels better because it's stylized, and you can get away with a lot of stuff if you just call it stylized. I like it.
That animation as well.
Yeah. The planet one looks like a Van Gogh background. Yeah, that's from Tech. How does one get their portfolio submitted for the next review stream? I would love to disappoint my peers publicly. Well, if you go to the Discord server, there's a live stream chat channel, and in there you can post a link to it. But I will say for our server, we do have high moderation settings, so you need to have a verified phone number attached to your account, and then you can post things. I believe this is an art station from Joshua, who is our main moderator. He snuck in his own one. So,
should we roast him?
Josh, why is your best one last? Like, so he made this lovely animation for our recent art challenge. Why is it not playing? Come on, there we go. Yeah. He doesn't think it's his best because it's just, he says it's a simple Boyd's animation, but it looks great and I love it. So the art challenge we did was cyan, yellows and greens. Sometimes I throw in like color challenges for people. We're allowed to make anything you like, but they just have to follow that color scheme. We do other types of challenges, but I'd like this one. Move it further up. It's a lot better than that. Come on, move it. You made these really cool architectural ones. You use the same texture that I had on like one of my previous ones. You asked me what it was, and I think you've used it very well here. Lovely. Love the lighting. Love backlighting, which is kind of one of my weaknesses.
You put it on your studios, right? Like,
yeah, that's actually one of the things I wanted to do. Where I have these emissive bars, I actually wanted to have like a small wall and then have backlighting so it moves up the wall a bit. but we'll see if I can kind of visualize that. But it'll be better to visualize with cycles, but again, the rendering time is going to be ages for that. Okay, so let's move on. Dizzy Less. Let's see. Tyler. Okay. Coming a quick look. Okay, different variety of content. Characters. This reading room. Have I seen this before? No, I haven't seen this one. Company reading your Flash. Are you using pre-made models for this? I wonder. The lighting's quite nice. On this top one, I mean. I like the kind of layout. I like the column in the corner. I don't think we have enough columns nowadays. Yeah, composition-wise, quite nice. But it feels distinctively different from the other things you've made, which are a lot simpler. Illuminating Rubik's Cube. Let's see. Cool little animation. Does feel like there's not a lot of consistency in what you're doing, but you are a generalist, so that's fair enough. One of the difficulties of being a generalist is knowing how to present your portfolio, because it is very chaotic, or eclectic is, I think, an appropriate word. I don't know if I necessarily have good advice for it, because I was always a generalist, and I don't think I necessarily laid out my portfolio well. But I guess one thing you could do, with ArtStation, you can make custom thumbnails for your posts. And what I would say is, maybe try and make something that's a bit themed or branded for your thumbnails and have them all follow that. So if you're a generalist, they can click on them. Maybe if they've got like a kind of little watermark in the corner or something, like when you see people do these art dumps from major projects on ArtStation, like games or films and stuff, sometimes they have watermarks for them. But if you can find a way to make it feel consistent across these kind of different thumbnails, just that feeling of it being consistent adds a higher sense of value, I think, for anyone that's taking a look at the portfolio, especially if they're kind of hiring for you. So there's nothing wrong with kind of being a generalist and trying different things, but if you can find a way to present it in a more consistent way, I think that's a better idea. But yeah, you got some cool little things on here. Oh, another animation, visualization. I would say product, more like project visualization. Machine used to clean trays in airports. Okay, cool. So you're throwing in some of your other work in here. Sorry, let's
nice.
try and move on. Okay, let's put links on here. Oh, that's an Instagram one. All right, Slink, let's take a look at yours. You do have some other Discord server challenge posts on here, just like some of the other people. This is just like one massive plug for our Discord server. If you want to come along and take part in our art challenges, you can. Slink has quite a nice amount of variety and a good sense of humor, I think. Hoo-hoo. Don't clip that. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, some of it's basic going earlier on, but I think we can definitely see a progression. More interesting modeling. This is another one from the color challenge about the kind of the greens and yellows and cyans. So pretty nice. Is this SCP? External media. Well, I wonder if that was from one of the Blender Royale things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Some nice nature scenes and stuff. Good variety. And this looks a bit familiar. Oh, what is this? Oh, I've got my glasses on. Is that my logo? Yeah, I think it is. All right.
Oh, wow.
How many more? Give me a number, Sharon. A few more.
Yeah, few, like, let's say 5.
5? Okay, we'll do 5.
Quick, yeah.
We'll do 5 quickly. And then we can do a story time before we kind of dull it down, and then after the stream I'll have my shower and stuff. Simon Heath. Ooh, okay. I'm getting good vibe already, and I recognize some of this. Well, I've seen you before.
For sure, I have seen this.
Where have I seen
you? I have seen this. Oh wow!
Cryo Chamber. That's where I've seen it. Simon, damn it! All right. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, this is a bit of a funny story. So.
Do you know each other before?
Well, okay. So we kind of spoke in another live stream chat, and it was funny because I've been listening to Cryo Chamber's like YouTube channel for ages, and I said, "Oh my god, like you're in the chat," and they were like, "Oh, I know who you are as well." And I was like, "Oh wow!" So that's where I've seen it. This has been on my on my main YouTube page.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah, no,
amazing.
really cool, lovely stuff. It's fantastic. So I
I've
immediately
seen
got
this around.
a good vibe from it. I knew it. Anyway, I can't fanboy over you for too long. I've got to do other people, but yeah, it's great stuff.
Simon style and Hug style. I can see one of them.
Yeah, it's got that vibe to it.
Yeah.
I love those moments of realization where I'm like, oh, that's why. All right, Darren. Nice comic style variety. I like that. Good color variety.
Ben 10.
Videos unavailable. Whoops. Do we have other pictures? Okay. Well, so maybe the modeling could do with a bit of work. Ben 10, yeah. But I think kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm losing my words and my ability to speak kind of while doing this stream. I think it's because there's like so many running around at once.
Okay, don't you recognize the first two renders that he made in the portfolio?
Well, these Ben 10 ones.
Oh, you do? Okay, then cool.
Well, it says it there, but I only watched a few episodes of Ben 10 when I was younger.
Okay.
For me, anyway, it was like a newer show when I was growing up. So I think because I was kind of...
I was really young.
As I stopped watching Cartoon Network, I think it was showing. It was not my generation. It was like the next one on. But
yeah, it's my
yeah.
generation, Curtis. How could you say that to us?
I'm so old. Ugh. No, I'm not. This is a fun portfolio. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Like textures and modeling can use some work, but I can tell that there's feeling behind it. I can tell. So it's nice.
Ben texted me saying that did someone say Ben 10 in a BBB 19?
Oh, nice. Granny
Wow.
Curtis. Oh my god, Tech. So rude. All right. Oh, okay. Nice. We've got a dribble one. Haven't seen a dribble one before. I mean, this is good. This is good already.
Yeah.
Look at the texture qualities. Look at that kind of modeling quality there. Love this. The Last Supper, but it's kind of quarantine. And the toilet paper. Oh. These people coming in here showing off their excellent stuff.
But that's Last Supper, is it?
Even like the basic abstract stuff. Check that out.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
I wonder how many years they've been training for this one.
Okay, so is this a fan project or is this actually for freelancer creative designer? Cool. I like your work. I like it a lot. Okay, so is this number 5? Okay, I'll make Agnev the last one because Agnev is after this.
We should roast him, come on.
Yeah, we'll roast
Yeah.
him. So, Matt
Agnev.
Curtis. Again, excellent. I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen... Yes, I have. I recognize you. You were on the art review for Blendernest, and we took a look at your tortoise and the hare, and had a lot of really good things to say about it. And I remember the only complaint I had was that maybe I wanted some like pads or something on the bunny's foot, and you could have had something funny like on that as well, like tattoo wise. But otherwise, it was like fantastic. Like, because the quality of everything else is amazing.
We had to like nitpick your stuff, you know?
We had to like go in really deep, and yeah, I love it. Your work is great, Matt. So keep going with it.
Why does people named Curtis are so professional?
I'm not professional.
I will say.
All right, so we'll do Agnev as the last one. Everyone ready for the roast of Agnev? I think we're gonna have fun with this one.
Yeah.
Okay, he says "oh no" in the chat. Yeah, all right. You ready?
Yes.
Sorry. It's okay. It's that's all. No, I'm joking. No, there's nice variety here. I like that you do focus on a kind of more anime and manga type stuff. We really liked.
Nice.
We really liked this one. I remember I took a look at this a while back. Sorry, the chat. Yeah, Chef goes. Although I know you base this off of the original kind of artwork and stuff. It took me ages to realize before that there was an actual kid, like on the, like being held behind this character. I could not see it. Like we spent like 10 minutes looking at it, and I couldn't see it until I looked in close. But I don't think that's your fault at all.
Oh, yeah.
But you did like so well recreating it, and like even just, it doesn't look like a like a model or
Yeah.
anything. It's good.
Fun fact, he made a tutorial on this, right? Apparently it got copyrighted. So
Really?
yeah, that was really sad. Like it was like a 2 seconds of audio or something.
I will
So
say, talking about copyright stuff, if anyone's worried about the music, then just know that this is from Epidemic and I'm licensed to use it, so it's okay.
yeah.
By the way, Agnev, I think this was one of my favorite ones he did. Maybe technically, composition wise, it's maybe not perfect because the character here, the scale feels a bit off with like the what's the word I'm looking for, displacement of the floor feels a little bit off, but I like if we cut off that bottom bit, I think it's very cool, especially with like the bloom and the kind of lens dirt as well. I really like that. Again, the god rays are not too overwhelming like some people do. Maybe let me turn that music down a little bit more. Okay.
Second fun fact. Do you remember the reindeer scene? I mean the deer scene right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually followed that one when I was a beginner.
Yeah, I think I remember looking at this one and thinking, this is very nice. I kind of wish there was a bit more behind, but I do like that there's a strong silhouette for the deer. It's like the main focus point, so that's a good thing.
Backlighting is always amazing.
Also, the color over here, it's quite good, but I'd kind of like a bit more of an indication than just color that there's something going on. Maybe if you had some like rocky structures just going up there, or like maybe some sort of a camp, maybe, because what's a danger to a deer other than humanity? So maybe some traces of humanity where the red light is. I'm not too sure, but just an idea.
Maybe it's just fire, like a forest fire.
Oh, I like the way that you've done the work in progress animations as well, not just the animation for the final. That's pretty cool. Genshin Impact, I think you spent a little while on this one. But this was very nice. Sorry to have to skip through it a bit, but okay, good. What's the Kurt chef kiss? There you go. You get that. Very good. I don't really like the thumbnail for this one though, because I know there's the alternate realities one. I can't tell that from looking at it because it's just too dark. For the thumbnail, I like you get all this cool stuff in it when you finally get into it, but I wouldn't really want to click on that to get to that point. So if you could like take like that frame, turn that into a thumbnail, brighten it up, and then put that there instead, I think that would work a lot better, like so well. But you did like a really good job with this. I mean, look at that, so much detail. But
he worked really hard on this one as well.
Yeah,
for a long time.
Yeah, you worked so hard on it. You did so much of it. Don't like for the art station. Don't dilute it down to that thumbnail.
Yeah.
But yeah. So thanks for sharing, Agnev. Right. Portfolio review's done. That took a while. I don't know how long we spent on that.
That's
thanks.
really
That's a
nice.
good idea. Honored to get the Curtis Chef's kiss. Yeah, I don't have the gift this time, so you're just. But this is high quality, I guess. All right.
Story time with Curtis.
What story should we tell?
Something embarrassing.
Okay, so
400K.
I've told a lot of stories on the Blendedness community conversation, which should be coming out. Just to give some background, a lot of the stories I talked about were I've grown up on film sets because my dad is a special effects supervisor. I've had a fair number of like encounters with famous people and stuff, but not a lot directly, but just funny memories from being on sets, and I've traveled around quite a bit. So I'll give you a few options. South Africa was an interesting story.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying something about Cumberbatch.
The closest I think I came to Donald Trump, which is it's not a very long story, but it's still interesting. And what else? There was the Rowan Atkinson one. Why not? Just like a fun little on-set thing, or maybe the Alan Rickman. But those are so we'll pick one of those. We'll see. South Africa, Donald Trump, Rowan Atkinson, or Alan Rickman.
I would say Alan Rickman because
you like him. But I want to see what the chat says.
yeah, for sure.
Rowan Atkinson, I got one for that. Someone says I'm South African. Tyler, oh yeah, nice. South Africa. Alan Rickman, Donald Trump. Wow, it's really mixed. Atkinson.
Oh, yeah, a lot of Atkinson. Yeah, for sure. Rowan Atkinson. Let's go. It's a really good story too.
Okay. Rowan Atkinson.
Let's go.
Okay, Rowan Atkinson. Another Alan. Rowan. We'll do Rowan. All of the above. I don't know. Do we have time? It's 8:30 now. Maybe I'll do a couple. Let me just have a sip of water and I'll tell you the Rowan Atkinson story. Because my throat, after all this talking. Right. So, my dad was a special effects supervisor for the Johnny English Reborn film. That's the second one. We were always massive fans of the first one. Show of hands in the chat who's seen Johnny English Reborn.
I did too.
But it was a really cool time because this was a point in school when I had to do work experience. Like, they make you go on work experience, and I was so lucky because they agreed to let me go on work experience with my dad, which, like, I feel like I really cheated the system with that one because I was already like going onto sets on days off with him. So it was a lot of fun. We saw a lot of cool things. I remember one of the sets was he showed us, they had like this kind of workshop scene where Johnny English is being shown the gadgets, and like they had everything there. He made like this kind of lipstick gun which ended up being put on display in like Universal LA, I think, but they had a proper car there with like a V12. I'm not sure. It's like Rowan Atkinson is a massive car dude, and they had everything laid out there. I remember it was a really cool day, but that's not the main story. There's a scene in the film where he's going down the Mall, which is a long road in London by Buckingham Palace, on a motorized wheelchair. And my dad's team had to put that wheelchair together. So on the wheelchair, it's got like a few different speed settings. It's for like fast, very fast, and like effing fast. So it's quite funny. But Rowan Atkinson wasn't driving it the whole time. I was doing work experience, and actually this might have just been a random day off, maybe not work experience, because I know I had 2 friends from school come with me, and we were all on the Mall because they closed off the road. And like, I'd been watching Rowan Atkinson my whole life because like Blackadder and like everything that he's been in, the Mr. Bean films. My dad did Mr. Bean's Holiday as well. So, and by the way, he's a really cool dude. I will say that my dad told me, I need to be careful like how much I say, but like when they were filming in Hong Kong for that film, he said the only person that said hello to him like one morning when they were on like the rooftops of Hong Kong, everyone was tired, was Rowan Atkinson. Like, he went walking along, like the entire crew just like, oh, whatever, and then Rowan just looks up, he's like, oh, hi, Mark. Like he's just a really down-to-earth nice guy. But anyway, yeah, they had a stunt guy driving down the Mall, and there's a bit where a truck or a van pulls out in front of the wheelchair, and he needs to push a button on it to like fall backwards and go under the truck. And sorry, just checking something. Right, and of course that's a stuntman doing it. If it doesn't fall back, then so it wasn't Rowan doing it. But there's like a kind of like elevated platform and steps off to the side of the Mall where everyone was standing and looking at the screens, because they have like all the screens where everyone sits and watches like the different camera angles. And we all went off to the side to watch this, like all the road was being cleared out ready for the actual take. And I wasn't sure why at the time, but my dad was pushing me through the crowd. And I remember like watching Rowan Atkinson on TV with my dad the whole time, like when I was growing up and all that. Blackadder, the 4th, was the best. Oh, so funny. But he was pushing me through the crowd, and I was just like, yeah, okay, like, yeah, I can see the screens, like, what are you doing? And he just like nudging me all the way. And I kind of noticed that I'm behind someone and I can just about see the screens now, and I'm kind of like breathing in their hair. And then I look over to my dad like kind of what's going on, and he's kind of like gesturing, and I realized that I'm breathing in Rowan Atkinson's hair. And I was just like standing there like, oh, okay, got it. So that's what's going on. That's why he was pushing me all that way. So I just had this memory of just standing there like, oh, this is cool. Because I was a massive fan at the time. And then I was watching it. We were watching it on the screen, and like he was kind of like nodding, and I was it's one of those kind of surreal moments when you're there, and it's like, yeah, this is cool. I'm just painting this to memory. I'm gonna hold on to it. So I love that. Just such a fun time. Yeah, good memory. And one of my dad's kind of workers, friends, whatever, someone that's been working with him like the whole time, he said that he had one of the highlights of his career was like after that day when they were I think they had the motorized wheelchair all the way at the other end of the road, and they needed to bring it back down to kind of like pack everything away. And he said that he got on it and drove it down, and he said that he had like a motorized escort of police cars because like they had been keeping the road closed, kind of come next to him and follow him down the road. And he said that he was just there on a motorized wheelchair going down like this historic road that's been closed off from London with like a police escort. And he said it's just like one of the highlights. It's just such a funny thing.
Imagine how it's gonna look.
Oh my god. But yeah, I loved that day. That was so good. I remember my uncle was there as well, and like toilets were really hard to find, and like I needed to use the loo, and he lied to people. He was like, look, we got an actor, can we kind of like he pretended that I was actually like acting in it just to get me through to the toilets, and it worked, so it was funny.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
All right, what about Alan Rickman or South Africa?
Alan Rickman, please.
So there's a film called Gambit. It wasn't received too well. It had Alan Rickman and Colin Firth, and there was a road in London again where the two of them are sitting outside of a building, like a big office building, and there's rain coming down. I can't remember what they're discussing, but I was just there helping out one day, and I was kind of in charge of doing the wet downs. I wasn't in charge, but I was helping out. And so they had this massive Bowser, as they call it, which is like a water tank car just around the corner. And he had me like kind of hosing down the road, and they had a big rain rig above. So when the actual film was running, it would look like rain was coming down. And there were funny moments where they would actually let the public drive through to be in the background of the film, but only when they were doing the takes. And I think they had to give them like a little prep before they drove through. So I had to stand on certain points, like at the end of the road, and wet down people's cars. And it was funny looking at their reactions, because like they look out the windows and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, why you gotta get my car wet?" And there was a guy who had like he must have had a new Ferrari or something, like this big hot shot, because he looked at me and he went, like, "No, don't do it." And I was like, "I'm gonna do it, man. I've got to do it." And he had such a weird look on his face. But in between takes, Alan Rickman was just lounging around. Like Colin Firth and that they had like people that like their own little entourage they kind of kept to, and that's like they kind of kept to themselves. But Alan was just wandering around the road and all that. And there was one bit where I was just walking around, and again, like it's kind of one of those weird surreal moments where like I'd watched him so much, like with the Harry Potter films and Die Hard and all that. And while I was doing it, I kind of just like looked to my side, and he's just standing like some meters away, just arms crossed, middle of nowhere, no one else, just like watching me specifically, just looking directly at me. I was like, okay, I'm going to carry on doing my thing. And he just kept watching. Not like in a menacing way. I think it was probably just like standing there thinking, yeah, I'm just going to look over him. Just going to look after him, make sure. I don't know why. I've just heard that he was just like a really cool dude, really nice guy. I just wanted to make sure everyone was doing okay. They probably thought, like, who's making this kid like do all this water stuff? But yeah, no, he was just watching the whole time. I was like, yeah, okay.
You're really young, right?
I wasn't like
2012.
Was it 2012?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 2011. Like.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
It's a while back. But yeah, no, it was there's just so many of these like weird, surreal moments. Another one was like Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy, and I love that film. And see, I think that's the only time I've actually been like starstruck. The set of Pan, the new Peter Pan film, didn't do too well either. Cardington Hangers, they built like a massive jungle scene, and there was where like they would speak to all the natives, and they had like all these kind of wooden lodge buildings with these trampolines. And I was walking around there one day, they weren't even filming, but Garrett was there kind of being like shown things, and we crossed eyes briefly, and it was very brief, but he looked at me and I was like, yeah, this is a starstruck moment, because I was obsessed with Tron Legacy. I loved everything about that film, and I was like, as soon as he looked at me, I was like, oh, there it is. It's been just a few moments like that. But man, a lot of talking.
So cool.
Let me check the chat. Alan Rickman still scares me from Harry Potter. Yeah, but at his heart, he was such a lovely person, and it's a shame that he died so soon. Pablo is taking a break from dev stuff. Yeah, Pablo DeBarro from sculpting for Blender. Yeah, he's taking a break to focus on other things, which is a shame, but he's done a lot for the community. So, who was in Harry Potter? He was Professor Snape. Just trying to say hello and thank you. Oh, that's okay. Pog, you are streaming.
Oh, no. We need more streams, Curtis. Promises. Come on.
Yeah, well, I need to find kind of like other stuff to do. Like streams are always still
Yeah.
like quite a high anxiety inducing thing. Because I do have like a general anxiety, and it's always just, oh, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna sit there and do nothing. Alan Rickman died, yeah, cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2017, I guess.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Well, I've still got
Such a
time.
lovely person.
I'll tell the South Africa one then as well while we're here, because I was kind of aiming to go at 9, it's like 8:40 right now. So South Africa was a weird situation. I was much younger. We went out there while my dad was filming To the Ends of the Earth, I think it was called. I think that's the name of it. It was like it was either a film or a show. Benedict Cumberbatch was in it before he was like massive. My mum broke her back out there. My dad had to kind of hide me in a bedroom at night in case the villa got broken into. We had a security guard looking after the villa. I made friends with like a handless monkey.
What?
We donated some food to Zulus. It was a really interesting time in my life. But that's when when we were out there. I think the first famous person in quotes I ever saw was Benedict Cumberbatch, and I remember my mum pointing him out to me. We were at Richards Bay, which is an area down there, and I remember there was this big kind of hangar type thing where they would like bring ships in and do stuff. But we were walking around there, and my mum pointed out to a guy in like these long white kind of like drape looking clothing, and he said, "Look, that's an actor. That's an actor." It's like, oh, well, an actor. I didn't. That was Benedict Cumberbatch. At the time, he wasn't like massive. But while we were out there, I don't know if it was while we were out there or before or after, but during that situation, that film, he got kidnapped. And I think a lot of people don't know about that, but yeah, he was kidnapped. But he got out of it.
That's cool.
It was him and one of the female actors on the film as well. But you can look it up. Yeah, crazy situation. When will the next Biogen update come out? Okay. So I was kind of holding out for geometry nodes, but geometry nodes has been changing its design a lot, so it's really not a good idea building for it right now. But I feel like it'll still be quite a while before that's at a stable enough point. So I have been thinking about doing version 9 and what I could do in it other than geometry nodes. So we'll see. I mean, my next video was either going to be the studio or Biogen. So it's there, it's close in the line, but it can be moved around, you know, at any point. So I can't really say for sure. And yeah, he got kidnapped. He was kind of carjacked, I think. Or maybe not carjacked, thrown in a trunk of a car. Something to do with a car. Can't remember. So Curtis, what is the most superior car brand? I'm obliged to say Volvo, because I will be harmed if I don't say that. So... When will CG Matter come back on Blender Nest? Well, he does his own thing. He can come back whenever he likes. There's been some situations where he wanted to take part, but there's been some weeks where we weren't doing it, so it's just like bad timing. But if you check the Blender Nest channel, you will see that he has been doing stuff. I mean, he put like a funny video on there, but basically we did some reorganization for how the channel works, and we had an agreement when I was like, we were transferring the accounts to my control because I was taking care of all of it, and he said, can you just make sure that I still have permissions to upload stuff? And I said, yeah, sure, like why not? So yes, let's take a look at what he put on there, shall we?
Is that Burger King?
No.
Okay, everybody, let us begin.
Pi.
3.1415926535897. Now get this. 9323846 26433833279.
Yeah, really really good content. So he can come back into the chats whenever he wants, like he has full permissions for everything. So yeah, I mean, just gotta ask him.
So cool.
Excellent Pi content, yeah, fantastic. So before we close this up, any would you like a questions, because I've still got some time. If anyone wants to like talk about anything, tell me what they've been doing, because I'm going to be focused in on the chat. So yeah, in the meantime, Charon, what have you been doing today?
Oh, I've been working on something, and I did some freelance works. Like they came back to ask for some updates, which I did. So finally, I can show it to you tomorrow, I guess.
Nice.
Like what I've been working on
Very cool.
for the past month.
Oh yeah. The thing that I've been seeing like progress updates for the whole time.
Yeah, and some college stuff. And other than that, I've been looking at Houdini tutorials.
Mhm.
Oh, guys, just because there's a lot of people watching, would you like to watch Houdini tutorials in the future, if at all, if I jump there?
Yeah, is anyone here actually, how many people here are subscribed to Just 3D Things? Let me give you a plug.
Oh, that's fine.
Give you a little plug.
Thank you.
There's what, like 59 people watching. Oh yeah, shout out to Just 3D Things. Yeah, such good. All right, let me read the chat. So, hello from Romania. Hello, Romania.
Oh wow.
I moved to Denmark. That's a thing. Nice. Very cool. I've heard nice things about Denmark. Burger King or McDonald's? I have McDonald's more often, but I still like Burger King. You ate chips and drove a non-Volvo car. That's heretic. Oh my god. Houdini tutorials, Pog. So yeah, like you got one person who wants Houdini tutorials.
Oh, that's nice.
Why is there no any 3D modeling stuff on iPad? Because touchscreens for modeling software is not a great combination traditionally.
I think there is one. I think it's called Sharp 3D. I'm not sure.
There's always been
Just Google it
stuff.
up.
I remember back on the iPod Touch, like when that came out, there was a couple of like 3D modeling apps, but they weren't particularly good. But
Yeah.
that might be just me showing my age again. How long do you think it will be before you can edit geometry in GeoNodes? Like, I don't know, but I want that because for parametric modeling, I think that's what Biogen needs.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this NFT thing blowing up? Any room for newbie 3D artists or too much speculation to bother with? Again, if you were here earlier on in the stream, I'm withholding my views on NFT content. Yeah. Can't wait to see Unica again. Well, you won't have to wait long because...
You can see right now.
It folded a superbe.
Oh,
C'est magnifique.
so cute.
Subscribed. All right, well, thanks. Thanks for subscribing. That's lovely. I've probably lost a few from doing the stream, but actually, let me check. Actually, I've gained some, so that's not bad. All right. You believe you're subscribed to Just 3D Things, well, that's good.
Oh, thank you. Guys, I would like to say, like, if you really like texturing and procedural texturing and mathematics related to texturing, you can subscribe. If you're not interested, it's fine. So make sure you like my content before you subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me instead of that. But yeah.
So I want to ask the moderators that have been lovingly sitting in the background of all of this, specifically Sam and Yoshi, if they would like to hop in, if they want to say hi. You don't have to, but you know, just to get it on record. Yeah, the portfolio review ended. We actually did that for quite a while, but there was a lot of links, and I will try and do another stream again in the not too distant future. I'll try not to leave it as long between this one and the next one. But yeah, there's always more than I can get through, and like my throat, it's gonna be really hurting for like the next day. Oh god.
I recording in the in some time, like the next video.
I don't think so. I'll need to keep prepping the studio. Hi Sam.
Hello.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for helping to moderate stuff. It's been very handy. So yeah, Sam's been in the chat the whole time. Yes, Ricky, that requires a voice. Do you review YouTube channels here? I see. Is that like a very it's a very clever way of getting shout outs on the stream? No, I haven't reviewed YouTube channels yet. Maybe I could do that. A good shot of single malt will take care of your throat. Yeah, maybe. So I guess Yoshi doesn't want to join. That's okay. All right, well, how long do we have? 12 minutes. 12-minute countdown. I don't think I have time to like do Tetris, do I?
You wanna play games? Okay. Cool.
No, I won't do Tetris. It's too much.
Oh, guys, do you like to watch gaming content from Curtis? Let's say yes.
Have you rickrolled the stream yet? No. God, no, I'm not going to rickroll the stream. I'm not that evil.
I think you should do it.
I think it would be funny. Maybe you'll lose subscribers, which is fine, I think.
Hey, we got Yoshi.
Hey.
Welcome
Hey,
in,
Yoshi.
There we
Oh,
go.
Still have time to celebrate 100K, so everyone put like party face in the chat.
Aw, yes.
That's
Party.
so cool.
Thank
How
you
do you
for.
feel, Curtis? Like, let me just try to interview. What was your response when you reached 100K?
Well, hold on. First of all, we have Tech that's joined as well.
hey.
Hey Tech.
Hey, Tech.
So Sam, Yoshi, and Tech,
Woohoo.
the special moderators.
Moderators.
So
The
thank you
Holy
for helping.
Trinity.
The Holy Trinity.
Of course.
So, yeah, for the 100K, it's been weird because it feels like it's been a long time coming, but it's actually been like a relatively short amount of time, like when compared to other YouTubers.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, when we came up to it, it was such a slow growth at that point that it felt almost bittersweet in a way. But like it was a really interesting week because that's when like the content massively changed and I had a bunch of like revelations for what I could do with the content to make it more interesting. So it's been interesting. It's like a mix of different feelings. It's like, well, we're kind of excited we got a new direction now, but we need to be careful because not everyone's happy with it. Because I've had some bad comments about it. I'm not going to change what I make. I've never changed what I've wanted to make in response to a comment ever. Like, if anything, I have this weird stubborn Britishness thing where it's like if you tell me not to do something, I'll just do it twice as often. So yeah, expect more kind of comedy, but we'll see.
I've
I'm
been really
interested.
enjoying that.
Yeah, I enjoy watching them back. They do induce more anxiety again because it's a change. It's something different. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's a better direction overall. It's also a step that could be taken to becoming a bit more personal overall with the channel. I don't want to do just Blender stuff forever because like the channel was never just going to be a Blender channel. Like, I mean, you can see that right from the beginning. It was Blender and Unity. It could have gone either way, and it wasn't even just that. I was like doing all kinds of other artwork things, but it's become very Blender focused just because that's what the audience demanded. So trying to bring it back out a little bit, with this other content, it takes time and it has to be done carefully. And I think people might be surprised how much strategy and calculation there is in making YouTube content. Like, okay, we'll do a few videos like this, and we insert one like this, and like every aspect of it is kind of like how many versions of thumbnails we have to go through and stuff like that. But yeah, like, yes, there's personality, but the personality is also calculated to a certain degree because like the jokes in those new videos, they're not just spontaneous. Some of them are, like a few of them, but like the main bits, like I'll be sitting on the toilet and be like, I'll say that, and like I'll write down and do different versions of it. And but yeah, but I guess that's just part of what the job is, I suppose.
I don't want to address like some memes, some Kurt memes. Yeah. So what is the comment for people saying that you're a bot? I do strongly believe that I'm one of them too. So
I think there's a few reasons. Like in the earlier videos, the audio was such a bad quality that it sounded so hyper processed.
No, the audio was totally good.
Yoshi prefers it for some reason. But yeah, no, I think part of that hyper processed audio was like it fed into the bot thing, but also the monotonous reading voice from the script content also adds to it. So the number of comments I had saying it was a text-to-speech engine. But I mean, that's fair enough. It's quite... Yeah, it's also the Britishness. Well, that's what I said to people. I said, okay, so they say you sound like a text-to-speech engine. And I said, yeah, that's because they're modeled after perfect English. So, yeah. So why wouldn't I? But...
Nah, I think people just think it because it's true.
Maybe.
Until you told me, Curtis, I didn't know that you're British. Seriously.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I get like irrationally annoyed by people that think I'm American. But I can't blame them for that.
Oh god, you hate me now.
No.
Everyone on the internet is American.
It's the snarky comments because I get.
I'm just kidding.
God,
Yeah.
because I had like an email the other day that was like, "Oh, you need to slow down for me." Like it was basically like that because I'm French and I can't understand. Like us non-Americans can't understand when you speak that quickly. I'm like, first of all, I don't care. Like I'm not American. I'm not just going to slow down just for you. If I slow down for my future videos, you're not going to watch them anyway. So like. Don't call me American when I'm not as well. Like the entitlement, it's just, yeah, I don't know. So Bricktown says, I am American and I dislike being considered American. I don't have anything against America or the American people. I've been there about 30 times, I think. Like, we've got a place out in Florida. I love it in America. I've been all around kind of east and west coast, not really in the middle. But yeah, I don't really like it when people just, when they mistake my nationality, I guess. The American Potter. What? Okay, I can kind of see this, but the comments that say I look like James McAvoy mixed with Daniel Radcliffe, I kind of get it. But it did take me by surprise when when I first read it. Okay.
I do understand why they think that you look like Harry Potter, but I mean, Daniel
well, I mean, the
Radcliffe,
glasses
yeah.
probably.
They're not circular
that,
enough, Curtis. Come on.
No, but we do actually have a couple of specs from the original Harry Potter films somewhere.
Do you have the scar? Please.
No, I don't have a scar, but I've got a spot somewhere. I've got a scar that you can't really see up here from when I nearly lost my eye in Los Angeles.
Oh no.
Tripped over a bag in the night in a hotel room. They had a glass, you know, one of those glass tops for a table. For some reason it was really sharp, like it hadn't really been beveled down. And as I kind of went down, I banged my head on it, and it kind of chipped out like a little chunk of flesh. And I was just lucky it didn't go to the eye. So, yeah, that bled for a while.
Yeah, man. Okay, you got another question. Did you get your Hogwarts letter yet?
No comment.
Good, good. You should not say anything. That was a trick question. If you say it, then you're a muggle.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've got the play button coming. So
oh, cool. Yeah.
That'll be my YouTube invitation later. I don't know. Would you like an owl? Do you think an owl would be a good pet? They're hard to look after.
They are, but then they're really sweet as well. They're very gentle.
Yeah. I've met quite a few owls, surprisingly. There's a lot of owl sanctuaries here in the UK. There's some traveling ones as well. They're really cute. They're really sweet.
What the heck is
look,
happening
we
in
got
the
some
chat?
spam in the chat. Let me report
Yes.
that. Nice.
Yes.
Oh, classic. You know you've made it when you get that spam. Come on, guys. Well, anyway, we've got to end it literally right now anyway. So...
That's amazing.
Yes, go on, mods. Now do it. Mods. Get the spam. Oh, love it. All right, well,
cool.
Thank you for watching, everyone. What did we do? We did the Blender news. There was a little bit there. Maybe we'll get more next time. Studio Project sneak peek. That was quite interesting. Might be the next video if I can find a way to talk about it in an interesting way. We had a little chat about humor. I showed some of my recommendations where I showed you some of the weird things I watch, like Amy's Crypt, Garrett Watts, Nakey Jakey, those kind of historical AI upscaled and colorized videos. I thought they're so cool. We did the portfolio review. Thank you to everyone who shared your portfolio. They were very cool to look at, and especially thank you to all the donations as well. And then we did story time with Kurt. I have more stories. Those are just like the ones I usually tell people. And yeah, thank you for everyone that's joined the Discord server as well to share your portfolio, and have a lovely day. And I will see you next time, as I say.
Amazing. Thanks for having me here as well, Curtis.
All right, goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.